when you plan ahead, really honestly, yeah, I have this one with me. Before going on my trip, I'm like, okay, which jersey of which team do I want to bring? Now I knew I had an Anaheim white jersey waiting for me in Bellingham on the way down, so I opted for this. It's purple, well, eggplant, and teal on the sleeves. Very, very similar to the jersey revealed by the Anaheim Ducks today. And, or yesterday. And a lot of people have been tweeting me and messaging me and emailing me and like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Because they know what I'm going to think. I think it's a great idea. I think this jersey in black is a really good idea. But it's something that has been sticking with me since Vegas. Bribery. I don't know how many of you guys are going to remember this, but I mentioned in a video at one point I was open to bribery from California fans who would love to see me cheer for their team. And when I see this on a current Ducks jersey, and they've done it as well as this, if not better, and I think it's better. I really like the shoulders. The only criticism I've seen is people saying they don't like the shoulders. I like the shoulders. I think the shoulders are really nice. So, what are 10 ways that I could be bribed into liking teams or players? I had this thought tonight, so let's go through the 10, and I'm not putting them on a board. So you watch from start to finish, or you just go to the end and you're like, I didn't hear the other 9. I don't know where's the list. There is no list. Number 10, and I've got 10 things written down, and I do not have them in order. Um, Number 10, I'll cross out mutual foe. So this would be, let's say, Buffalo. Let's say I'm not a huge fan of Buffalo, but they're against Montreal in the playoffs. So I go, man, between the two, I'm cheering for Buffalo. Or Montreal's up against, bad example. But for Montreal fans, Emily, I'm thinking of you here, and Patch, and numerous others, and I know Larry, I know you guys are out there, and I know I've got a lot of Montreal Canadian fans that are subscribers, and would love to see me stop talking about how much I don't like Montreal. There are other ways. So 10 is a mutual foe. Number 9, this is kind of just analogous. Clean play, meaning that they don't have a player on the team that I think is a dirty player. That when I watch their games, I'm not jumping out of my seat and going, seriously, that doesn't get called. How can that not get called? Or what in the hell, that should be a suspension. The more often I do that, the more likely I am to not like a team. And before people say it, I call out Marchand and I call out Canucks as well when they do things that I think are across that line. There was a Colin Miller incident about a year and a half ago, and there have been other Marchand videos where I called for suspensions where he didn't get them, where I got some heat from Bruins fans for them. And it kind of surprised people that I was saying he should get suspended, but that's just me. Number 8. Um, yeah, that should be higher. Number 8 is a rebuild recovery. So your team goes through a really rough patch, maybe 3 or 4 years down at the bottom, and then they start to come back. And this came to mind because of the Oilers last year. I was cheering for the Oilers in situations where I never would have before, because it was nice to see them finally winning something. So this year, when that all fell apart, it kind of felt gutting on some level. Even though I don't cheer for the Oilers, I felt bad for their franchise and for their fans, their long suffering fans who were once again suffering. Number 7. This is tough. This is tough without going through it first off. Number 7 is a great jersey. That. Put that in black. And it's funny, but if a team rebrands itself, for instance, the Ottawa Senators, all signs were pointing to them rebranding themselves this summer and putting the O as their main logo and ditching the 3D Centurion. Um, a rebrand can go a long way, and when it's a popular rebrand, it can really help. The funny thing is, this was pointed out to me on Twitter. There are a lot of people saying, well, the Ducks never should have got away from that Mighty Ducks logo. And the point being made that, well, Disney sold them so they couldn't remain the Mighty Ducks. They had to change to the Ducks. Yes, but at the same time, when this jersey came out, when this logo came into the NHL, I remember longtime NHL fans, those puritanical ones, saying that's not a hockey jersey, that's not a hockey logo, that's crap, that's a Hollywood thing, that's a movie, that's not a real thing. I can't cheer for a team wearing that logo. But if a team gets a really nice jersey, I'm looking at you, Chicago, with your chain stitching. I know what you're doing. Montreal with that Centennial, that's just mean. And Columbus with that beautiful Cannon jersey, a team that I had no reason to cheer for or against, and that Cannon jersey sure looked darn nice out there. Number 6, adversity. No, no. I'm gonna have adversity higher up than that. Number 6, personal connection. And what I mean by that is where there's a video put out on social media where they might be interacting with fans, they might be interacting with each other. I'm thinking of Kevin Bieksa with the Ducks. I'm thinking of PK Subban with the Predators. Videos they did where they might be trolling their own teammates, and it's hard to watch that kind of stuff and not find yourself laughing at it and saying, seems like a pretty decent bunch of guys, even while you're choking on bile a little bit. But honestly, it's not that bad. All right. So do I put adversity at 5? I don't think so. 5 would be great organization. What I mean by that is you have a respect for the GM, the coach, everybody, the whole staff, and the team that's on the ice. Toronto's in that category. Brendan Shanahan, Mike Babcock, Lou Lamoriello, who just left, Kyle Dubas. I like Austin Matthews. I know I get a lot of flack as if I don't, but I do like Austin Matthews. And what the Leafs have built. I love Mitch Marner. He's one of my favorite kids in the league. And honestly, it's really changed. I hated Toronto 2 years ago. 2 summers ago, I absolutely hated Toronto. That's changed. And it's because the organization has really changed for the better. And it's on its way up. And that has nothing to do with Stanley Cups. You'll notice that and nowhere in this top 10 do I say it. Winning a Stanley Cup helps. No, it doesn't. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Number 4, charity. I'll put charity at 4 because when you see players giving millions of dollars to charity, volunteering their time, going out and doing things, and this comes back to the Vegas thing from last fall. When the whole shooting happened on the Strip, the team really stepped up, and it bonded them to the city. And that kind of adversity, it's hard not to cheer for the team on some level and not to cheer for their fans because at number 3 is adversity. Charity and adversity do kind of go together. If you think about it, a charity is born from adversity. And seeing a city go through that adversity, the team's players being charitable, the whole organization being charitable, the organization stepping up. And part of what makes me proud as a hockey fan is I can't think of a single organization that doesn't step up when they need to in their community. It is a something that makes me proud to cover hockey and talk about as much as I do, is the way that the players and the organizations behave towards their fans and towards other people. Number 2, their fans. One thing about being in Vegas, and I talked to my wife about this. I said it's going to be really hard to watch Vegas games this fall. Know that these people I've been talking to are going to be in this crowd, and not on some level pull for them, not necessarily for Vegas, but for those fans that I met, for those people that I met, for those people I talked to. So when you prorate that out and you go, okay, well, what happens, Shannon, if you do meetups all over the place? What's going to happen then? Pure and total objectivity is what comes out of that. You gain a new respect for fans. For instance, Harrison and Billy, hi if you guys are watching, who are both San Jose fans, and talking to them, and it's just, it's kind of softened me on the Sharks a little bit. And people have asked me, why don't you like the Sharks? I'm like, because they keep beating the Canucks. Kind of sucks watching them beat Vancouver every time they play them. Regular season, not in the postseason, but that was 2011, and Canuck fans need to let that go. So what's number 1? The number 1 way for a team to sort of change my mind and turn me around is to acquire players that I cheer for. Florida comes to mind. They pick up Colton Sevier, Frankie Vetrano, Jared McCann. Keep picking up guys that I cheer for. I will find myself pulling for those players. And it does kind of get me that bandwagon label. it's not bandwagon for me to say I cheer for Frank Vetrano, who goes from Boston to Florida, and I want to see him do well in Florida. I cheer for Colton Sevier in Dallas. He goes to Florida. I want to see him do well in Florida. Jared McCann, after a promising rookie season with Vancouver, gets traded to Florida. I want to see him do well in Florida. So see, there's a pattern there, and eventually there's a bunch of guys playing for a team that and remember Luongo's in Florida too. There's a bunch of guys down there that I'm like, man, I really want to see them do well. And then you factor in all of the other things I mentioned before, and that's part of the reason Florida's moved up my chart in terms of who my favorite teams are. It doesn't matter if they win games. I couldn't care less if they win games. Doesn't matter to me. It is the character of the players, it is the organization, the fans, and a nice jersey doesn't hurt. So there you go. 10 ways to bribe me if you're a hockey player, a hockey team, or hockey fans. So for Vegas, if that was the whole goal with the meetup, you probably got yourself a bit of a convert. They're not going to be in the top 3, probably not in the top 4, likely not in the top 5, but Vegas is really, it was really something, and it's made me excited about meeting fans in Dallas, being able to go down to California. Lots of people in California I'd love to sit down and meet. And fans of this team make me nervous because when I'm talking on Twitter or Instagram or on Facebook with Duck fans, they all seem like really great people. So there you go. It does make a difference. And that is the one thing that makes me kind of have trouble cheering against teams. It's easy to cheer for, but cheering against is a whole other feeling. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below which teams have won you over in the last few years, or which teams you used to cheer for and now you can't. Because as much as these things are things that will bribe me, think of them in reverse. And so guys hitting little kids. I don't know in reverse. Some of these you can't really do in reverse and still be in the NHL. But there are things that will make me cheer less for a team than before, and definitely the makeup of the roster. If the roster is made up of kind of jerks, it does make a difference. But let me know your thoughts on that. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, again, I'm just getting creative to find a place to do a little video for you guys. I'm 2 days out from going home, and then we can get back on a nice, even schedule of whatever video I feel like at the time, and forgetting playlists and starting playlists back up and creating new playlists before I finish the other ones. Oh, and season previews. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.